Here I have an example of something that I want to score and slip so that I can attach it. I'm going to make a little mushroom. I will want first to make sure that my bottom base piece is hollowed out. So when I formed this, I actually made a little pinch in here so that it's hollow. This one is an example of something that I did not hollow out. So now that it's a little drier, I can try to hollow it out before I score and slip the top attachment to it. But for now, these two pieces are leather hard and they're ready to go. So the first thing I want to do is to score. Scoring is scratching the surface of the clay. So it's just roughening it up like so. So I want to kind of make a lot of little texture in there so that it's going to, when I add the slip, it's going to allow the two pieces of clay to join together to become one as it dries. So I'm going to score it by just poking some texture in there, roughening the surface of the clay. Now I'm going to put the slip on one side. Whoop. That's okay that it dripped a little bit. And then I'm going to press these two pieces together and hold them and just gently apply pressure. So now it is not totally secure until it's been dried, but it should, as long as I press and hold, it should allow these two pieces to join. I don't want to just push it on like this. That looks like it's gonna hold and stay, but once it starts drying, they're gonna dry and separate, and they're gonna come apart really easily. An example of that is in this bowl here. You can see that the person that made this pushed each piece in, but they didn't score and slip it, so they fell apart. So none of these pieces are actually attached, but it actually makes a really cool design on the inside. But if your intention is to make it be one piece or to have it not fall apart, then you'll want to make sure to score and slip each piece. Then I can show you that this is a pinch pot that I just made. It's still moldable, but I can still score and slip this things on it. However, you can already see that it's got a little dent in it from when I put it on top. And because this is so wet, I will want to wait to attach it, to put it on it, because the clay itself will weigh it down and it will eventually break through. So you want to be careful when attaching things that have legs or something that might damage it. So the weight of the clay could actually damage the pot. So I will want to wait until it's leather hard, so it's a little more stiff before I put this on, so that it won't break. When things are leather hard, this is a great time to add carvings and designs. So you can see I'm drawing in with my pencil some lines. There are some little balls of clay, and you can just pick those off and drop them in your little container. So those will help make good slip, and your lines will be clean. You always want to make sure to clean the lines, because if you don't, they could leave very sharp texture on your pieces that could actually cut you. So you want to make sure to smooth it out to make things not be super sharp later. You also want to make sure that your lines are the same depth, so you can go over the lines again if you need to. To hollow out the bottom, I can take my spoon here and start digging it out. So I can save this little bit of clay and rehydrate it later, so I can put it in a little bag. I could use the other side of my tool to start hollowing it out. When I'm ready to attach the pieces together, I held them together to see how they would look. When I put these two pieces together, I thought the cap would look a little bit better raised higher, so I decided to take a little ball of clay and attach it to the stem before I attached the cap, so that it would look a little bit better. Make sure to score and slip these pieces together if you do something like that, and always look at your pieces before you attach them to make sure they look right. Take out a small piece of clay and then put the rest of the clay back in the bag and wrap it up tight so it doesn't get too dry. Separate your clay into two pieces. The smaller piece will be forming the stem. You can use the table to roll it to make it a cylinder, and use the table to flatten the bottom by tapping it. Push your finger into the thicker part of the stem so that you can make sure that it is hollow. Keep smoothing and forming the stem until you're happy with the design. When you're done with the stem, you can set it aside to become leather hard. Take the other piece of clay and pat it into a ball. You're trying to remove any air bubbles. Usually we wedge clay, and I'll talk more about wedging clay later, but for now just keep patting it and compressing the clay so that there's no air bubbles left into it. Then press your thumbs into the center, and you're going to start pinching using your thumbs and the pads of your fingertips. And you're forming the cap of the mushroom now. So it can be in any shape that you want it to be. I made this one a little bit more flat. Next week we'll be starting to make pinch pots that are more bowl-like. But for now, just do any design that you want. Mushrooms are not always perfectly shaped, so don't worry about making it even, but you'll want to smooth out the cracks as they form. Once you're done, you can set that aside to become leather hard. Make sure you wrap them in plastic before you are done for the day, and you will want to score and slip them together when they are leather hard. After you score and slip your mushroom together, don't forget to add your potter's mark on the bottom. Using a pencil in something this small was a little hard, so I took a paper clip and used the point of the paper clip to carve my potter's mark into the stem. So use whatever tools you need to get the job done, and be creative.